we are now 45 seconds away from number 3 and number 4 to help kick off the NAIA football season.
And one thing I will say, too, about Morningside's defense is when you look past the starters, there's a whole lot of not applicables typed in on our spot sheets in terms of stats. A lot of these guys didn't see a whole lot of action last year, if any at all. So Morningside's depth defensively, big question mark. And that's going to be something here early that Benedictine is going to have to take full advantage of. Make your mark early. Really move the ball down the field and get this defense that is missing some experience on their heels a little bit. If you can keep them off balance, switch up your looks consistently on that offensive side of the ball, that sets you up really well to be successful early. And then once you find that early success, keep your foot on the gas and just keep rowing through the gears. Pedal to the metal from kickoff number 1.
Tommy Fitzsimmons to kick it off for the Mustangs. Joseph Lagafuina, Dalton Witherspoon standing at their own 5, and we are underway. Into the end zone. Witherspoon takes it 5 yards deep, and he will take a knee. Ravens will start their drive from their own 25-yard line, led by the senior out of Lawrence, Kansas, Jackson Dooley, the Heart South Player of the Year a year ago, third-team All-American, threw for 4,153 yards and 39 touchdowns. Dalton Witherspoon will be the tailback for the Ravens, 807 yards and 10 touchdowns last year. The bigger questions for Benedictine is what are we going to see from the Ravens outside? When you lose 2 dynamic playmakers in Todd and Gathright, how will they be replaced? Lagafuina last year, 36 catches, 636 yards, 8 touchdowns, was very good in the NAIA playoffs last year.
I think another name we're going to see a lot of this year is LeBron Jackson. Only 13 receptions for 157 total yards. 2 scores for him last season. Didn't tally any stats against Morningside.
Ravens will go empty on 1st and 10. Quick hitter Tanner Zimmerman taken down at the 30-yard line by Malik Hampton. And right away, Dooley to Zimmerman.
Like we said, Zimmerman going to be somebody to watch this season in terms of the frequency of his use. And Jackson Dooley, watching tape on him this week, man, he makes quick decisions. It's usually that second read, and he's getting the ball out. If it's not to a receiver, it's going out of bounds. Really smart there in the backfield.
Handoff, Ugorji cuts it back up across the 35. Xavier Ugorji into Morningside territory and out of bounds. First down, Benedictine up to the Morningside 46.
And there it is, running Witherspoon and Ugorji out of the backfield at the same time. Great job again by Dooley, getting that read, sticking with the handoff to Ugorji. Waits in the backfield just a second when he plants that foot to start moving up the turf. Man, he is a hard guy to catch.
3 wide receivers for the Ravens. Dooley will throw. Just dumps it off to Witherspoon in the flat. He is wrapped up by Blake Bellamy. Short gain for Witherspoon.
And there's another good example of some of that talent coming back in the front 5 for the Ravens. Holding those blocks. You saw somebody slip through on the left side and give a little bit of pressure to Dooley, but still phenomenal job keeping his eyes downfield, staying patient in the pocket. Still able to get a couple out of it, which in a game like this, 1-2 yards of play, not so bad on a first down.
So handoff Witherspoon up to the 40-yard line before he is pushed back. Bellamy and Phipps in on the stop for Morningside. We'll bring up our first 3rd down of the game. It'll be 3rd and about 4 for Benedictine. And this is kind of that no man's land you're in right now. Maybe you run it here, set up a short 4th down, but I feel like I've seen Joel Osburn coach for 4 years. I feel like regardless of what happens here, I think Benedictine is going to go for it.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, too close to punt, maybe a little too far to kick unless you've got an absolute boot.
And there is Cameron Dover over the middle, and he will have just enough for the first down. Cameron Dover, the junior out of Los Angeles, California, makes the first down catch.
He only had 8 catches last year. Did have a touchdown on his stat line, but like we said, we're going to see a whole lot of use from everybody, especially in this first game for Coach Osburn.
Dooley, quick hitter again to Dover across the 30 up to the 29. He will pick up 7.
The offensive momentum right now for the Ravens, you can kind of tell Morningside's defense is back on their heels just a little bit. You're starting to see BC kind of slow down their offensive pace on this set of downs. But those first 2 plays after they move the sticks have been pretty quick just to keep the momentum rolling in their favor.
And they're going to get an offside. Free play here for Dooley. He's going to chuck it up. Looking for Zimmerman. Harriman on the coverage. He had Titan Osburn wide open on the far side of the field, but it was a free play. This will result in a first down for the Ravens.
Yeah, with the free play, I mean, why not?
Offside. Defense, number 90, 5 yards, real yardage, first down.
Tael low, caught for offsides. That will move the sticks for Benedictine up to the Morningside 24.
That could prove to be a pretty costly penalty later on in the game, giving him a free shot. Granted, still a second down and short situation, but a team in an offense like the Ravens, not often are they going to fumble an opportunity taking advantage of a mistake.
And some miscommunication there between Lagafuaina and Dooley. Lagafuaina cut in. Dooley thought he was cutting out. And nobody home. The first incompletion of the game for Jackson Dooley.
And that's where I think you're going to see a little bit of growing pain, losing those 2 big targets from last season. Granted, you've had a few weeks to kind of iron out your communication and that chemistry, but you're still early in the season going to see some of those miscues.
Handoff, Ugorji breaks a tackle. Touchdown, Benedictine. Xavier Ugorji from 24 yards out, and the Ravens are on the board first. The senior from Menifee, California.
Just a perfect run. Great setup on the incompletion. You bounce back with a handoff to the guy on your depth chart who's listed as RB2 and that right side of the line, Madrid Smith, and then I think it was Zimmerman too who was set up right off the edge of that O-line, opening up a massive hole for Ugorji to go through. 6 on the board, and then you follow it up with the made extra point, and it's 7 for the Ravens here early.
2 big carries by Ugorji, 23 and 24, and he takes it to the house. The Ravens take 3 minutes and 17 seconds off the clock. 8-play, 75-yard drive to start the year, and not a lot of resistance put up by the Morningside defense, but there's that Benedictine offensive line.
I mean, that Benedictine offensive line is going to be really, really tough to battle, I think, for any defense that they're going to see this year. When you return 4 of your 5 starters from last year who were second-team All-Heart South in Harrison Schmidt, first-team All-Heart South in Jacoby Hinton and Rashad Beckham, as well as on the right side of the line, Britton Smith. 4 first- or second-team All-Conference players. That's a tall task for a defensive line to ask them, hey, just run through these guys and put a little pressure on whoever's in the backfield trying to make a play for the opposition.
Christian Kloeb to kick off for Benedictine. Jalen Birch back deep for the Mustangs.
This is going to be a big return for
Great
the Mustangs.
Return.
Wow.
Javin Hudson on the return for Morningside. So good starting field position for Zack Chevalier and the Mustangs. He returns his top 2 receivers in Drew Sellon, 120 catches last year, 1,800 yards, 17 touchdowns. And you have Lennox Brown, 74 catches, 934 yards, and 9 touchdowns.
We talked about Chevalier. He was a first-team All-American on 2 different polls, the AP and the AFCA. He was also the GPAC Offensive Player of the Year. Little gunslinger there in the backfield for Morningside.
That will be Max Hough on the carry for the Mustangs. Took the job from Ryan Cole last year, who was the starting running back for Morningside. Ran for almost 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Yeah, for being a running back, too, I would say 1,200 yards on a little less than 200 carries and 12 scores. Not half bad.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Cole ended up getting hurt, and he just took the starting job. Quick hitter out to Brown, and he breaks a couple tackles into Benedictine territory. Lennox Brown, if that name sounds familiar, it should. The last time he was on this field for Morningside, he was playing quarterback and scored the game-winning touchdown for the Mustangs. The senior out of Council Bluffs, Iowa, Chevalier to throw, looking for Sellon. He's got him on the near side. And that will be just short of another first down. Taken out of bounds by Blake Dapkus.
I think we're going to see a lot of that combo of Chevalier and Sellon here this afternoon. Kind of an interesting MO about Morningside. They're not looking to just chip 1 or 2 yards of play. They're looking to pick up their yards in pretty significant bunches. Really push this thing up the field quickly. They've done so here early.
Chevalier looking for Sellon. Caught. Touchdown Mustangs. Drew Sellon from Zack Chevalier. 35 yards. And just like that, we're an extra point away from a tie game.
Right on cue. You and I were talking about it. I think we set a makeshift line. What was it, like 65.5 total points or something for today? And the way this first quarter has gone, not even 5 minutes in.
We might get that by halftime.
We're on pace for a really, really high-scoring game. I think this one's going to come down to not necessarily who makes the first mistake on offense, but which defense is going to step up first and really put the hammer down and sort of bottle up the offensive threats that their opposition has, because there is no shortage of threat for either side on the offensive side of the football. Very balanced for both teams. And still, like we said, a few question marks on both sides for both teams on their defensive fronts. Now we get an opportunity to see Benedictine come back out onto the field. How are they going to respond after a very quick drive for Morningside? Looks like back to return for Benedictine. Standing at the 5 is going to be Joseph Lagafuaina, along with Dalton Witherspoon. Backed up to about their 3. Great field position last time after the touchback. And a couple big plays made, obviously, by Xavier Ugorji, punching it into the end zone, but he had a big run. They're on one of those early sets of downs to push it across midfield and into Morningside territory. This is going to be a big response drive, especially with both teams having seen each other once now. Kind of level the playing field. Obviously, both drives pretty short, so there's still going to be, I think, a lot of surprises up the offensive coordinator sleeves for each team.
Kick away from Fitzsimmons. Lagafuaina will take it out a yard deep, and he will get a couple blocks on the far side, but corralled at the 17-yard line. So we'll see the Raven offense again. 2 touchdowns in under 5 minutes. That's a great way to start the year if your offense is, if your defense is not so much.
Yeah, but it makes our job exciting.
That it does.
We get to sit up here and get a little excited when somebody punches it across the goal line. We've got to do that twice already today.
3 wide receivers here for Dooley. Ugorji to his left. Ugorji able to make a defender miss, but just got back to the line of scrimmage.
It looked like it was kind of just the left side of that defensive line coming up and making the stop. Tail Low and Jason Bowker, I think, were the two that got there first.
Hey, Morningside just running 3 down linemen right now. Dooley to throw. Up top for Osburn, and he makes the catch on the far sideline. Titan Osburn, the redshirt freshman out of Topeka, Kansas, with a great catch and his first as a Raven.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Osborne earlier this week, and something that you and I both noted, he loves to get these freshmen active, especially week one. Try to figure out who is going to be somebody he can rely on for their next 4 years wearing the black and red. And I think that's a guy, Titan Osborne, at least on that first play that we've seen from him today, looking like a guy that could do some damage in the long run for the Ravens.
Dooley empty on first down, pump fake. He will take off. Not something he does often, but Dooley with a gain of 4 up to the 46-yard line.
His feel in the pocket is just something incredible to watch. Great job to get those defenders airborne with the pump fake. The second he goes airborne, you see him tuck it and start to take off up the middle with that gap opening up. Not the fastest quarterback you're ever going to see, but certainly a player that is able to extend the plays, keep his eyes downfield, stay calm, and in that case, he's able to pick up a few.
Dooley fakes it to Witherspoon. That'll go off the hands of Osburn, incomplete. Jordan Papillon on the coverage. And
defensive player, helmet came off. Number 28, he will sit for 1 play. Second down. Third down, correction.
so Kellen Jensen loses his helmet. He will have to sit out a play. It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Ravens. And this will be big for the Morningside defense to be able to get off the field and get that high-powered offense the ball back.
A little bit of a difference in this offensive drive for Benedictine. They were pretty quick on their first and second down plays in terms of getting back to the line, running sort of a hurry-up set. They've slowed it down a little bit here.
Dooley rolls to his right, under pressure. Breaks away from 2 tackles. Nobody open down the field. He's going to just step out of bounds. And that was a coverage sack there for the Morningside secondary. And that is going to force the first punt of the game.
That's secondary for Morningside. Leading the way, Cade Harriman and Malik Hampton, who both saw action last year, but the other 2 starters, Jordan Papillon and Victor Atupra, didn't see a whole lot. Atupra only had 6 tackles and a pick. Papillon had 18 tackles, an interception as well. So phenomenal job for those young guys to step up and really clamp down on a solid wide receiver core for Benedictine. But there it is again, dancing the backfield, Dooley, giving himself the extra time to at least look for something to open up, even though it just didn't in this case.
High spiraling kick from Kloeb, and we're going to get a flag down as Hough on the punt return, and the initial block is going to be a penalty on Morningside. It's going to negate a pretty solid return there from Hough, but they're going to start deep in their own territory.
That's something in the matchup last year that we talked about before this game even kicked off that really came back to bite.
Legal block in the back. Return team, number 17. That penalty force half the distance. First down, Morningside. Timeout on the field, media.
So this is the media timeout. We're going to step away. They're going to have a presentation here. So you're watching the UEN Clash of the Week on BRSN.
7:40 left in the first quarter in the opening weekend matchup between the number 3 Morningside Mustangs and the number 4 Benedictine College Ravens on BRSN. It is the UEN Clash of the Week as well. First down and 10 for Morningside. Starting from their own 3, it'll be a quarterback keeper for Zack Chevalier. He's out across the 15 and finally dragged down at about the 18-yard line. Still a few yards short of where the Mustang offense was originally scheduled to start before a costly block in the back penalty came down after the first punt of the afternoon. It'll be Chevalier with an empty backfield. Brings a man in motion across. And now back to pass. Fires to the far side. It is going to be complete to Drew Sellon, and Sellon is brought down right near the first down marker. And it would appear that those chains are going to move up for a fresh set for Morningside. 7-all after 2 quick scores in less than 5 minutes. Ravens were up 7-0 to get this thing started. And again, it'll be gun set for Zack Chevalier. Man in the backfield is Hough. He'll move out to the near side. Chevalier back to pass. Looks to the far side of the field. Has another completion. This time hauling it in is going to be number 10, Jacob Nelson. Nelson finished with 625 yards on the season last year, 6 touchdowns.
Second down.
And because of another helmet coming off, somebody is headed to the Morningside sideline. It'll be 2nd down and 1 for the Mustangs. Starting from their own 37-yard line. Chevalier handles the snap well, will hand off to Hough. Huff's has some room on the near side. He'll get out across the 45, spun down at the 46. And again, it is a fresh set for the Mustangs. Few big plays to get themselves out away from their goal line. Started at the 3, already out to the 46. An impressive second offensive drive for the Morningside Mustangs. Chevalier stays gun. In the backfield with him is Hough. It's another give. Hough will go to the far side, has a hole out across the 45 in Raven territory, and he'll be tripped up. Officials say right at the 40. Now Morningside's offense on cruise control here in the first quarter. We're about 10 minutes in. And the Mustangs wasting no time to get back to the line of scrimmage. 3 wide on the near side. And Chevalier will stay in a gun. Gets the snap, rolls out to his left, now fires back across the field, complete to Hough. Slips a tackle. He's got a first down and then some. He'll finally be dragged down from behind, but not before he's across the 25 in BC territory. First down and 10. Official spot is at the 24. Over 10 minutes played. Still that 7-7 score, and Chevalier doing exactly what we thought he would do, leading this Mustang offense at a very efficient rate. Gun set. Quick pass to the near side for Chevalier is complete. Tripped up at the 20. That is number 89, Griffin Kraft. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Mustangs. And you'd like to see for the Ravens defense to come up with a couple of big stops. If you can force a field goal on this drive, it would be more than ideal given the situation. Nobody wide for Chevalier. He'll pass quickly to the far side. It's in and out of the hands. Just slipped through the fingertips of his intended target. That's Lennox Brown. So it'll be 3rd down and 6 for Morningside. Very rarely do you see a mistake like that made by the Mustangs offense. Perfect opportunity for Benedictine to capitalize defensively. Crowd starting to get into it here on 3rd down. Chevalier in the gun. He will hand the ball off. Running to the near side is Birch. Birch has some space. He's across and into the end zone for 6. Make it a 13-7 lead for the Morningside Mustangs. 97 yards from one end of the field to the other. And punching it across, Jalen Birch, who only had 1 touchdown all of last season. And he's matched that here in just 2 drives. It'll be Tommy Fitzsimmons to attempt the PAT. And it'll be a rocket right down Main Street on the uprights to make it 14-7. Huge drive right there for Morningside. They're up to 157 total offensive yards. Zack Chevalier with 97 of those. And then leading rusher right now, Max Hough, Jalen Birch, the scorer on that drive, up to 20. His lone rush of the day, too, I might add. And that puts the Mustangs ahead by an entire score. Benedictine's return team already out on the field, ready to go. Back at the goal line is going to be the same return group that we've seen all afternoon so far. Joseph Lagafuina on the far hash. On the near hash is going to be Dalton Witherspoon. Kind of seeing the first adversity of the day for Benedictine, obviously having to punt on their second offensive drive of the day. We're able to score relatively quickly on drive number 1. Thanks to Xavier Ugorji, the second of his 2 big carries. He's got 47 yards. And it'll be Fitzsimmons to kick it away. It's low. It'll bounce at about the 15, be scooped up by Witherspoon. He'll take it from the 5. Back to the center of the field, makes one man miss, tries to spin away from a second, and it's still going to be good field position for Benedictine at about their own 24. And we'll see how Jackson Dooley and the crew can come out and respond to a second quick and second scoring drive from Morningside. Dakota and I kind of talking about this one as well all week and how we thought it was going to be a whole lot of offense. Man in motion coming across the field as Jackson. It'll be a handoff to Witherspoon from Dooley. He's going to slip 1 tackle and maybe pick up 2. Regardless, second down and long for the Ravens on that first play, and we do have a red jersey down. And we're going to have a substitution on that offensive front. Be Edward Swislowski coming onto the field on the left side of the line. Second down and 8 for the Ravens. Dooley gun set with Witherspoon back behind him. Fresh play call. There's another handoff to Witherspoon. Has a little bit of a crease, and he's going to fire right through, and it's another 2-yard pickup for Dalton Witherspoon. Doesn't have a whole lot of big explosive plays yet today. Just a handful of 2-3-yard rushes, which still ever so valuable in this matchup. Empty backfield set for Jackson Dooley. 4 receivers to the far side. Drops back to throw, has some pressure, rolls to his left, and he's going to be spun down behind the 20 in to make the stop. Looks like that is big number 89, Griffin Kraft, who came in to make the stop for Morningside. It's going to set up 4th down. And a long ways to go. Scotty Robertson on to get some work in punting for Benedictine. His boot will land at the 45. It's Hough on the return. He's tripped up quickly. And the Mustangs will start right at center field. A 14-7 lead for Morningside after back-to-back scoring drives. And Benedictine's defense not quite in desperate need, but in need certainly of a big stop here. A lot of the momentum swing to the side of the Mustangs early. Still a long way to go, just over 90 seconds left in this first quarter. Chevalier gun set, has Hough to his right. Back to pass. Plenty of time. Rockets to the near side, and it is hauled in. And that again is Drew Sellon making the grab, and that is a big chunk of change picked up for Morningside on their first play of this third offensive try. Back to the line quickly. It's Chevalier gun set once more. 2 receivers to each end of the field. Hough in motion to the far side. Quick pass to the near is hauled in by Jacob Nelson. Flags flying. Nelson with a crease, and he's going to get across the goal line. And I think this one is going to be coming back. Dirty laundry on the field. We'll see what the call is from the officials.
Holding, offense, number 73, 10 yards, previous spot.
And that is Caden Clausen, who is charged with the penalty. And that's a big one to have to march backwards. Could have been Jacob
Holding,
Nelson's.
Offense, number 73, 10 yards, previous spot. We played it down, first down.
So it'll be a replay of downs for Morningside. They'll be backed up to first down and 20. We've seen them on multiple occasions today pick up pretty close to that in not a lot of time. But again, costly penalty there by Caden Clausen, the left tackle for the Mustangs, bringing back what would have been 6 points from Jacob Nelson. Chevalier to pass out of the gun, has Hough on the far side with the screen. It is complete. Hough stumbles on the turf monster, and he's going to be slung out of bounds. Making the stop for the Ravens was Cole Johnson. So still second down and long for Morningside, and that penalty, that one mistake may be all the Ravens need to kind of get themselves back into this ball game early and slow up the roll of the Mustangs. Gun set again for Chevalier. Man in motion to the near side. Fakes the handoff to Hough. Fires a rocket across the middle. It's intercepted. Bringing it back the other way for BC and shoved out of bounds near the 50-yard line is going to be number 34, Dylan Witherspoon. Flags flying on the play. We'll get the official call, and that is a big momentum swing there for Benedictine. That flag flew all the way back at about the 34-yard line on BC's side of the field. The officials huddled together to see what exactly the call will be, but as it stands, it is Raven football, at least until we hear otherwise. And in a drive where Morningside was setting up to possibly extend this to a 2-score lead.
After true discussion, there is no foul for holding on the play. Result of play, interception, first down, Benedictine.
And there you go, the flag waved off. The Ravens with great offensive field position to get another try underway. They'll be spotted at the 45. Dylan Witherspoon from that linebacker core dropped back, read the eyes of Zack Chevalier perfectly, and he comes away with a crucial interception. First turnover of the day for either side. Empty backfield now for Jackson Dooley. Puts Ugorji in motion. Ugorji will get the handoff, and he is going to be wrapped up by some quick pressure in the backfield by the Mustangs. He was asking the official, looked like for a face mask. It did look like he got spun around pretty quickly, but no flags. It'll be second down and long as we hit zeros here at the end of the first quarter. 14 for number 3, Morningside, 7 for number 4, Benedictine College. You're watching Raven football on BRSN. Second quarter about to get underway here from Larry Wilcox Stadium. It's Raven football on BRSN. Colin Eccles on the mic for you today. Second down and long for the Ravens. Launching it downfield is Dooley. Wide open with the grab. And 6 for the Ravens is Cameron Dover. What a way to start the second quarter for Benedictine. Massive 6 to make it 14-13. I wasn't sure exactly how Cameron Dover got that free on the far side of the field, but he was well beyond 5 yards away from anybody. And Dooley, with that downfield vision, able to drop a dime into the bucket. And the extra point is good, too. We're tied at 14 in the UEN Clash of the Week in the NAIA. Number 3, Morningside at number 4, Benedictine. And boy, it doesn't get a whole lot better than this. Big interception defensively for Benedictine, Dylan Witherspoon. They start out at the 45, run out the first quarter. And then that combo, Jackson Dooley, Cameron Dover. House call on the first play from scrimmage in the second quarter. And we're all tied up. Now seemingly the momentum shifting back to the side of the Ravens, and that's exactly what you want to see in a 3-4 matchup, or really any big ranked matchup, any matchup in general, is the capitalization on the mistakes. The Mustangs aren't going to make a whole lot of them. Obviously, you saw it there. It was something that killed him last year. A few interceptions thrown by Chevalier. He's got one already, and a perfect execution. What coaches would call making them pay, as the Ravens punch 7. The return men for the Mustangs, Jalen Birch. And it is going to be a return from the far side. Spun down just to the midfield side of the 10 is where Morningside will start. On the return, and that is going to be where the offense led by Zack Chevalier will take over. So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs, tied up at 14. They'll start on the far hash. Chevalier sticking with that gun set that we have seen all day. Not often, if ever, does he move up close to center. He's got Hough in the backfield to his right. Since Sellon wide to the far side of the field, it'll be a handoff to Hough to start. Hough has a crease, firing through into the secondary. He's got a first down. Form tackled from behind just past the 25-yard line to the 27 or 28. Fresh set of downs for the Mustangs. Same set again. Chevalier, a handoff to Hough. And Hough met at the line of scrimmage and stood up by Zack Lacombe. Maybe got a yard or two out of it. Second down and long for Morningside. Spotted at the 30. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Change in the backfield. Hough to the sideline. It'll be Birch now to the left side of Chevalier. 2 receivers out wide. Handoff to Birch, and Birch able to fall forward for 1. Good combo there. Looked like maybe Christian McAfee and Zack Lacombe getting in to make the stop. Couple of subs on the defensive side for Benedictine, and this is a huge 3rd down and 7 for the Raven defense. And is just as big for the offense of Morningside, who's looking to respond to a big Raven score. Chevalier tries the hard count. Nobody jumps. He'll drop back to pass. Fires far side. It is up and over the hand of the defender. That was Trey Williams, and it popped out and hit the ground. It's incomplete. 4th down. And the Mustangs will come on to punt for the first time today. Huge stand here in the second quarter as we get Dakota strapped back into the headset. Dude, you've been missing one heck of a game.
I know I have. That's what happens when you're the boss. And you have to handle everything else too.
I know. I just have the fun job. Dakota's got to come up and actually make me do it.
Lagafuaina turns and takes a big hit at the 47-yard line. The Ravens will get it back. Was Dover that wide open on that touchdown?
He was 5 or 6 yards away from the nearest defender. He got caught right about the 1, still able to get it in, but man, I mean, just wide open. Beautiful ball, too. Real pretty pass from Dooley.
That doesn't surprise me. His throwing motion's a little awkward. That is one thing I have noticed. But
if the ball comes out and spins right, I don't care how you throw it.
And that is exactly the point. It might not look pretty sometimes, but it looks pretty in the air. He will hand off. This will be Xavier Ugorji. Breaks out of a tackle, and Ugorji tiptoes down the sideline. Broke away from the hands of Blake Bellamy, and Ugorji picks up 8. I think we have. Yeah, we got replay rolling now. That's what I was trying to figure out, everybody.
I tell you what, Xavier Ugorji has had himself one heck of a day already. Great job, spins through a couple tackles, keeps those legs chugging. He's up to 52 yards on just 5 carries so far.
Taken down from behind by Malik Hampton right at the first down marker, and they are going to move the sticks for the Ravens. And so Dylan Witherspoon had the interception, right?
Witherspoon came through with a huge interception, which seemingly has turned the tide back into the Ravens' favor so far. I mean, they have taken that one mistake and kind of ran with it.
Everybody back in tight on the right side for Dooley. He will hand off Witherspoon, and he is met in the backfield. That's going to be a loss on the play, as that was Jack Brickhouse in on the stop. I don't know if I've ever heard a better name for a linebacker. So 33 taking down the other 33. And it will be 2nd and 12 for the Ravens from the Morningside 45-yard line.
And Brickhouse is, as you would expect, built like a brick house, just fired right from that second level in the defense.
Witherspoon motions out. Quick hitter Zimmerman. They're going to mark him at the 37-yard line, a gain of 8 to Tanner Zimmerman. And we've seen that route 3 or 4 times now from Zimmerman. Between him and Dover, that's been 4 completions on that exact same route.
A lot of people hate to watch teams that run kind of that quick check down type of passing offense because it's not the long ball. It doesn't look pretty. But how effective is it when you're throwing it to a guy like Zimmerman, 6'5", 235? You said a Division I or better tight end build.
Dooley under pressure. Gets it away. Zimmerman couldn't haul it in. And Joel Osburn has a decision to make. 4th and 5 on the Morningside 37, and zero doubt in my mind that Ravens are going to go for it.
You're kind of back in that situation that we saw in the opening offensive drive for Benedictine. You're in no man's land, kind of too far to kick, too close to punt. A big game like this could be a decision-making play too, just as much as the Dylan Witherspoon interception.
Dooley will take the snap, and he will find Zimmerman. The question is going to be, did he catch it? But it's not going to matter. He lost it. Morningside comes down. I wonder if they're going to say he was down.
It looked like he was down, and he just kind of had the arm outstretched. Now, granted, I'm looking at it from a whole lot farther away than the officials are, but in my humble opinion, which I know doesn't matter in this situation, it does look like Zimmerman was on the ground. We're going to get a replay of it right here, hopefully. And it looks like it does go in the Ravens' favor. So, it would appear that Zimmerman did get down before the ball came out. A good job by the officiating crew, too, coming together and making, that collective call rather than taking the extreme and going one way or the other. That's pro level right there.
Yep, there we go. We're going to get a challenge from the Mustangs. So we will step aside for a moment. And they will review this, and we'll be back here momentarily. You're watching the UEN Clash of the Week on the Benedictine Ravens Sports.
So we still are under review of whether it was a completion and a first down for Benedictine or a fumble recovered by Morningside. Tie ball game 14-14. Raven football on BRSN, the UEN Clash of the Week.
Wonder where is he at? The official that is looking at this. Where is he at?
Over here
he's
in the red
underneath
tent.
the hood. Yeah,
So we are still looking at who or what the official call is going to be. The officials are going to make their way back out onto the field.
After further review, the call on the field is upheld. First down, Benedictine. Morningside will be charged a timeout and also loses their challenge.
And that is a huge, huge missed challenge call there for the Mustangs. You can't really blame Mustangs head coach Steve Ryan for challenging that, though. I mean, that was close enough that it made sense.
It would have swung the momentum back in their favor if they would have won the challenge.
Oh, 100%.
Because they get the ball back. You stop all the momentum that Benedictine has. But now you lose that timeout, which is crucial.
You lose your challenge as well,
Yeah.
which is
so now
even bigger.
if something crazier happens later in the game that may be definite that it was wrong, you can't challenge it.
Well, and you and I think, have both watched enough football at all levels in our days that there have been some plays that are just clearly wrong. And if that would come down to a determining factor in a game like this, that's a bad spot to be in without your challenge available.
And Dooley had Dover unable to hang on. That was broken up.
And I think we've kind of found our guy who is going to be somebody to watch, at least for today. Cameron Dover has done a phenomenal job for Benedictine as a leading receiver. Good drop there, but a little bit of good coverage as well. How about a wildcat snap?
And Ugorji nearly broke free there. Picked up 6 on the play.
Talking about Cameron Dover, though, I mean, 3 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. 58 is his long, which was the score. I mean, can you really complain?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Especially as a guy that, we didn't necessarily have a ton of eyes on for today. We didn't know what he was going to bring to the receiving corps.
Ravens 1 for 4 on third downs to this point. Witherspoon motions out. Dooley to throw on 3rd and short. And that pass knocked away. Victor Atupra breaks it up as that was intended for. That was Isaiah Haston, safety playing receiver.
That's a good job, though, by a Tooper. I mean, he came in, and ball was already in the hands. Isaiah Haston. He comes through and just knocks it out there at the last second. Good job. Good look, though, from Dooley, though, still. I mean,
so Christian Klob from 43 yards. He does have the leg. Plenty of leg. And it is true from Christian Klob. That had plenty of distance on it. If you were wondering what kind of leg that Christian Klob has, it's 50's very doable for him. So we are going to take our media timeout. They're doing something on the field. We're going to stay live for that. You're watching the UEN Clash of the Week on BRSN.
we got 9 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first half, all tied up. Benedictine back in front 17-14 after a big 43-yard field goal in the opening weekend of Raven football. Number 4 Ravens hosting the number 3 Morningside Mustangs, the UEN Clash of the Week in the NAIA. Two teams that lost in the semifinals of the NAIA National Tournament last season. If you played a third game to determine third place, these would have been the two teams to see. Be Christian Klob kicking away for Benedictine. Back to return for Morningside. This is going to be Jalen Birch.
And that goes over the head of Javin Hudson, who had that big return that set up that first Morningside score. So now the Mustangs get the ball back, down 3. Good stand by their defense, though. After losing the challenge, you come out and you get the stop, you force the field goal, and now you get your offense back on the field as they try to rebound.
That's the thing about this Morningside team. I mean, you could argue that, an interception takes away a lot of momentum, which it did. I mean, that was huge in getting Benedictine back into this. But losing that challenge could have been huge That's the thing, though, with Coach Ryan and this Mustang group is they do not buckle under pressure like that.
Lennox Brown wrapped up at the 30-yard line by Isaiah Haston and Nemo Hicks.
Good job in the open field by Hicks to come across and help finish up that tackle.
Brown will open on the far side, knocked out of bounds by Trey Williams. It'll be a first down for the Mustangs. And another catch for Lennox Brown.
Lennox Brown doing his job so far today. His third reception. Had just 19 before that one. That is a big first down pickup for the Morningside Mustangs.
Good drive starter there for Morningside. A couple quick plays to Brown. Chevalier under pressure, and he goes down. Cole Johnson, the senior out of Louisville, Kentucky, in on the sack.
The Trinity High School product to Louisville Trinity. If you don't follow high school football all that closely, they produce some guys. Rondale Moore that plays, I think, still in Arizona.
He's bounced around a few times.
He has. Product of the same school. Cole Johnson had just one sack last year. How about matching that week one? There's a big breakup defensively.
Trey Williams put a hit on Sellon.
Trey Williams, a guy that we had marked.
Or no, that was I think it was Hough who was out of the backfield who had that. Here, oh, they already replayed it. We weren't paying attention. So 3rd and 15 for Morningside.
Trey Williams, a big hit, what you would call laying the boom. And tell you what, when somebody takes a shot like that, that can be a little bit of an eye-opener and a momentum killer as well, as you see right there.
As that is incomplete, looking for Drew Sellon. And the Raven defense answers the call. With 7:27 to go, Benedictine will get the ball back.
7:27. As we have seen already here this afternoon, is plenty of time for both of these squads to still be able to put some points up on the board. Each team with a touchdown and right around 5 minutes of play in the first quarter. Took everybody just a drive, and man, Benedictine special teams trying to get in on some big plays.
Fair catch made by Lagafuina at the 25, so that is where the Ravens will start this drive. Dooley so far today, 8 for 13, 115 and a touchdown. But it's been Xavier Ugorji, 7 carries, 61 yards and a touchdown. And then Cameron Dover, like you talked about, I think we're taking what they were doing for the media timeout. We're doing it this time, so we'll step away. 7:19 to go in the first half. Benedictine leading Morningside 17-14. Dakota Smith with Colin Eccles joining you this afternoon. A very back-and-forth game so far. Momentum has changed a lot. And now Benedictine will try to make this a 2-score game.
One of the fun things about these early season matchups is kind of what we saw in the first few drives, back and forth, back and forth. Everybody seems to have kind of settled into their identity and their game plan for today. Defenses are firing on all cylinders. Offenses are both looking really solid. You're not starting to see just offense blowing past defense anymore. Defense is starting to get in there, create some disruption, force the opposition to make some mistakes. This is football. And I cannot tell everybody how excited I am that college football is back.
You and me both, sir. I got a taste of it last weekend. I got to go to KU's opener. As Dooley will throw on 2nd and 7. He's looking for Lagafuina, and he's got him. Joseph Lagafuina into Morningside territory. Up to the 41-yard line as he beat Atupra and makes the grab.
And that's something you're going to see come out, especially with the inexperience of Victor Atupra. Just a sophomore. He's 5'11", 145 pounds, had just 6 tackles and an interception last season. Working against a guy like Lagafawina, who's about same size, has 35 pounds on him, but was an All-Heart Conference honorable mention. Tall last there for the sophomore at Tupra. Dooley back to pass, drops way back to the 50, has some pressure. Rolls out to the right side, now will tuck it and run, and he's going to scamper out of bounds after a 2 or 3 yard pickup. Good job, though, turning it into some positive yardage.
Yeah, he's had to scramble a little bit more today than we might have thought. The Morningside getting some pressure on him, but like he said, he's mobile enough.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not just going to stand back there and be a statue. He is able to move and pick up that 3-4 yards when you need it.
Yeah, I mean, I really hate to make NFL quarterback comparisons with anybody because you don't know how they're going to pan out. Not your Lamar Jackson, not going to take off running, but I'm thinking like prime Aaron Rodgers, extend the play, fill the pocket.
Witherspoon with a fantastic move, breaks it away inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal, Benedictine. Dalton Witherspoon, my goodness.
And how about Witherspoon taking it to Malik Hampton right there at the end? Hampton trying to drag him down. Witherspoon says, no, not today. How about you come to the ground with me? Shoves him down in the stiff arm. Does get tripped up. That is huge. A 1st and goal for Benedictine. Dalton Witherspoon starting to wake up out of the backfield. Gun set, and it's going to be Ugorji to the right side, moving out towards the flat. He'll make the reception on the screen, and Ugorji is spun around and dropped in the backfield for a loss, and I believe that was Landry Phipps who got in and made the stop for Morningside. Still 2nd down and goal, but a 5-yard loss. Pretty significant there for Benedictine.
Yeah, not what you want to see on 1st and goal if you're the Ravens. But this Morningside defense still trying to answer the call.
We talked about it, too. I mean, Morningside's defense is going to have a little bit of a question mark. There's a lot of blank stats from last year, guys that are just seeing action for the first time. But they've all stepped up and kind of replaced some of those big names lost.
Dooley,
well.
Corner of the end zone. Lagafawina unable to get the foot down. He was unable to hold on as well. That was just a little too much air under it from Dooley. And that's a tough throw into the back corner of the end zone from where he was at. It's a long throw.
Very tough. But the thing about Dooley with that throw that a lot of people, unless you pay attention to football, aren't going to appreciate, that's the perfect spot to try and lay it right towards the side of the end zone where it's floating out of bounds. So in case Lagafawina is not able to pull it in and it does drop in bounds, it drops away from the defender. Great decision by Dooley.
Dooley to throw. Steps up, steps back out, gets it away, and there was some contact there with Witherspoon. I think they're going to maybe say that was some incidental contact, and this is going to force the Ravens into a field goal. So, again, a moral victory if you're the Morningside defense. You hold the Ravens to a field goal attempt.
This, I keep going, feel like a broken record kind of saying it in a matchup like this. When you're looking at teams that are top 5, this is not going to be a game, at least we think, where anybody just totally takes over and bulldozes through the opposition. So taking it down the field, putting these field goals up for Benedictine, you would have loved to see 6 go on the board after a couple of those passes. But the 3 looks just as good in the scorebook.
But Clough misses it as that missed wide left from 33. So now if you're Morningside, not only do you stop him on 3rd down, Clough misses the field goal. And if you're the Ravens, that's a momentum killer on their side. As you were hoping to take that lead to 6. Instead, Morningside gets the ball back with 3:39 to go and 2 timeouts. And the 2-minute timeout as well.
What a rarity, though, from Christian Clough. Looked like that ball came off the foot with more of a side spin than an end over end. I don't know. I didn't see if it was just a rough hold or if he just pulled his leg across a little too far.
Chevalier finds his receiver wide open. That is Griffin Kraft. up to the 34-yard line, gain of 14 on the play.
Big start there on first down for the Mustangs. And Kraft didn't have a whole lot of competition around him in terms of trying to haul in the reception, so something to clean up there defensively for the Ravens.
Hand off to Hough across the 40 up to the 41-yard line. Taken down by Savion Payton.
Front five for Morningside. Doing a good job, and again, it is the GPAC first team and the GPAC second teamer, Jack James and Mason Scott, opening up some holes for Hough.
Chevalier goes down. The sack. Xavier Hernandez with the sack of Zack Chevalier.
The Atchison native. 8 tackles, just 1 sack last year, which was his only TFL. And he gets another one there. I mean, third down and long in a situation like this, 3rd and 9, that totally screws up the game plan for offensive coordinator Chris Silva in the Mustangs.
We'll see. I think Morningside's going to take this into the 2-minute timeout. And that is exactly what Steve Ryan is going to do. So we're going to get the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes to go here in the first half in Atchison. Number 4, Benedictine 17. Number 4, Morningside 14. You're watching the UEN Clash of the Week on the Benedictine Ravens Sports Network. 3rd and 9 for Morningside from their own 36-yard line. The Raven defense can get a stop. It'll get their offense the ball back with 3 timeouts. Chevalier with trips to his left. Looking that direction all the way. Chevalier steps up, throws. Caught in the middle of the field by Jacob Nelson. And a great job by Chevalier. He steps up into the pocket, avoids the pressure. Off-balance throw complete to Nelson.
Good job by Nelson, though, too, to climb the ladder and bring that in. If that's another, 2 or 3 inches higher, that ball's sailing, into the secondary, possibly into the hands of someone suited up in red and black. So Nelson doing his job.
Chevalier to throw. And that nearly intercepted by Isaiah Haston.
Isaiah Haston had 3 interceptions last year.
And nearly his first of this year.
The coverage deep from this secondary from Benedictine has been about as on par as you needed it to be today. Where they've been getting beat is short. Back at about that linebacker level, some out routes and some crossing routes. A little bit of tight end play coming into factor too, but the secondary's been doing really, really good. Haston, just a sophomore, 6'3", 180 pounds. Good dude to have in your secondary lineup.
Hand off to Hough. Up to we're going to mark him at the Raven 46. It's going to bring up 3rd and 7.
Down under 90 seconds to play now, too. You got to figure that Morningside may not be looking all the way downfield, but you could possibly see them try to pick up a huge chunk on this play. 3rd down and 7. Down to 60 seconds now-ish to play by the time this play gets started.
And one of the Ravens caught offside. Chevalier up top looking for Sellon down the far side. It was great coverage by Trey Williams, but it's not going to matter. I think it was Cole Johnson who got caught offside.
Offside, defense, number 40. 5 yards, replay, 3rd down.
And we've seen some penalties come into play and really come back to bite the defenses so far. Morningside gave a free play to the Benedictine offense. And Morningside still has to pick up this first down. It's 3rd down and just 2. So the Ravens an opportunity defensively to still come through and come up with a big stand. But now you're giving Chevalier and OC Chris Silva a little more to play with in the bag here.
Chevalier to throw. Ravens only bring 3. Chevalier steps up and takes off and takes a massive hit from Zack Lacombe.
That is exactly why coaches tell their quarterbacks to slide. Look at that matchup. 6'2", 205 for Chevalier, not a small dude. 5'11", 210, and built like a freight train. Zack Lacombe coming straight at you.
Chevalier gets through his progressions and finds Lennox Brown. He breaks a tackle into the red zone, down to the 17-yard line. Lennox Brown now 4 catches for 44 yards this afternoon. Clock stops with 30 seconds left.
And still 30 seconds left. It'll start rolling. This is plenty of time for Chevalier. I mean, he's been firing darts over the middle that have been just about 17 yards apiece.
Chevalier under pressure, and he goes down. Ball's on the field. It's going to be recovered by Peter McSwaney. But Joseph Abrams gets home and gets the sack.
Great pressure by the Ravens. You're going to force Morningside to take a timeout as well in a moment like this. Just under 15 seconds before halftime. 3-point difference on the board. And Joseph Abrams coming up with a sack like that at this time. Strip sack, too, which could have very, very easily been in Raven possession. I believe it was Abram Phillips who had to hurdle one of the O-linemen for Morningside to try and make the grab on the loose ball. Just couldn't get to it. I mean, kind of a poor place to be when you're fighting for a fumble, having to jump over somebody that didn't drop on the ground. Good job, though, too, by the freshman Peter McSwaney to realize that, hey, that ball is on the floor. I've got to go get it. And he's at least saved the turnover, which would effectively run out the clock, most likely. Maybe you get a playoff if you're Benedictine. But now 2nd down and long, 24-yard line for the Mustangs.
And you do still, this is where missing that second timeout right now kind of plays a big deal.
Yes.
They lost that timeout on the challenge. You had 2 timeouts here. You have 2 shots at it. Now, with just the 1 timeout, you really got 1 shot into the middle of the field. And then if you only take a little bit of time off, you maybe have time for 1 more play. If not, then you're kicking a field goal.
Well, and if you're Chevalier in this situation from a quarterback perspective, if you don't see anything on the first or second read, that's a cue to just get rid of it. Throw it out of bounds, stop the clock, and reset so you can get another play off.
Chevalier under pressure again, and Cole Johnson again for the Ravens. 2nd sack of the day for Cole Johnson.
Look at that replay. I mean, Johnson just blowing past Griffin Kraft.
And this went from a ball at the 17-yard line, a 35-yard field goal. This has turned into a 48-yarder for Tommy Fitzsimmons now. The Raven, this is something Benedictine didn't do last year at Morningside. They did not sack Chevalier 1 time during that game. They have got home 4 times in the first half. We had a few questions about the defensive line, losing Heath Baker, losing Isaac Anderson, 2 very, very talented players. Cole Johnson having a day.
I mean, he's gotten in the backfield twice, and where he's been really, really good on the edge and effective is when he's been going up against Griffin Kraft. He gave him the business on that play. Gets up, puts 1 hand in the chest, creates enough separation that he's able to just get right past the attempted block by Kraft, and then he's got a free lane down the center aisle to Chevalier. Chevalier had some blockage on the front side, so he's really not able to step up and kind of run to the opposite side of the field as well without dancing around first. This is a perfect spot for the Ravens to be in, but...
You want something interesting? They aren't kicking the field goal.
Well, that was what I was getting ready to get to, the whole... You've still got Zack Chevalier in the backfield. He is the best quarterback in the NAIA. And he's getting ready to line up from the 30, a guy that can sling the rock, place it where he needs to. This is just as much a threat as a field goal attempt for Morningside.
Chevalier steps back to throw, looking for Brown, and broken up. There's 0.1 left on the clock. There's going to be about 0.8 when I looked at it. That was timed perfectly. The clock management from Morningside has been very, very good. So 4th and a mile. I'm going to do that math real quick.
I'll call it 4th and an Atchison mile walking uphill.
That's a long
That's a long way to go.
That is a long way to go, especially if you're at the bottom of 2nd Street walking up. 47-yard field goal for Tommy Fitzsimmons to try to level it going into halftime. Luke Paulson, the punter, is the holder. And Joel Osburn going to ice the kicker. Has 3 of them. Might as well use one. Can't take them with you.
The other thing to note, though, too, is if Morningside is able to tie this thing up at 17, they get the ball back to start the second half. So if you can throw off the rhythm of their special teams a little bit, get them to make a mistake, maybe go into halftime with a lead if you're Benedictine, you have a chance to come out, make a stop, and continue to extend in the second half the lead that you built up already.
We're going to have the dance performance at halftime, the Alumni Day presentation that is going to be done at halftime, and also the Raven Regiment performance. We'll have those for you during halftime of this one. Again, Dakota Smith and Colin Eccles joining you this afternoon for the first ever UEN Clash of the Week. I had the pregame show this morning. I wasn't able to catch that. I was on the other end of campus.
You know, from the little bits and pieces that I got to catch between, setup and running through and making sure we're good to go on our end with the broadcast, UEN, great looking setup. That video board that they had behind them was super cool. And overall, just great show. Good turnout as well from everybody.
Yeah, this is one of the best crowds I've ever seen inside this stadium.
Big matchup.
Tommy Fitzsimmons from 47 yards to try to tie it up. Snap was low, and I think that might have got blocked. And that is how the first half is going to end. I can't tell if maybe somebody got a hand on that, but the snap to Paulson was low, and that looked like it might have thrown everything off. And that is the end of the first half. And we've had a good one so far. Benedictine leading Morningside 17-14. You're watching the UEN Clash of the Week on the Benedictine Raven Sports Network.
After missing a field goal to end the first half, which was a great defensive stand made by the Ravens, gets the ball back first here in the second half. Now, this is going to go one of two ways, in my opinion. It's either going to continue to be kind of what we saw in that first half where both offenses get off to really explosive starts, or these teams are kind of going to be settled in when they're at. We know that Morningside has the capability to be really explosive and make some really big plays really quickly, picking up those good yards. It's all going to be a matter of how does this Ravens defense come out and respond. Do they continue that trend from the end of the second quarter where they were pretty much locked down other than a couple big plays, or does Morningside's offense ramp this thing back up into high gear? We'll see as Javon Hudson brings it out to start.
He'll be taken down as he crosses the 25-yard line. That is where the Mustangs will start their first drive of the second half. And if history tells anything between these two teams, it's going to be a very good second half. Every meeting between these schools decided by one possession.
I mean, this just being the start of the second half. It'd be interesting to see the first overall drive from Morningside. Like I said, 4 plays, 60 yards, took a minute 12 before they scored. Not entirely sure we'll see something that quickly, but you can never count it out.
Hough will get the ball on the first play of the second half, and he is wrapped up at the 30-yard line for a gain of 3.
Benedictine's defense has been doing a good job every time that Morningside has tried to punch it up the middle, really stacking that box. Hough has been looking kind of for an opportunity to bounce a little further out on his offensive line and look for a crease to shoot through. Anytime he's tried to take it up the middle through traffic, there's been at least a handful of Ravens right there to get on it.
Wide open in the flat is Griffin Kraft. Up near midfield, taken down by Abram Phillips. Second catch of the game for Griffin Kraft, the senior out of North Liberty, Iowa.
Great read, too, by Chevalier on that play. Drew in. I couldn't see who exactly it was coming off the left side for Benedictine, but drew him into Hough thinking he had the football. Hough got rocked in the backfield.
Chevalier to throw. Screen pass to Hough. With some blockers in front, Max Hough. And he is going to motor all the way to the end zone. Touchdown Morningside, a 51-yard screenplay to Max Hough. And a perfectly executed play by the Mustangs.
I'll retract my previous statement. It wasn't a minute 12, but it was a minute 22 to score for the Mustangs on their first drive of the half. So do with that what you will. But, I mean, just great job overall by the Mustangs to come out after pretty much being shut down. Well, shut down completely in terms of scoring in the second quarter, but really being shut down and having all of the life sucked out of them, it seemed, at the end of the second. To come back out, first possession of the third quarter, march your way down the field, and then a big pitch and catch from Chevalier to Hough to retake the lead for Morningside for the first time since the first quarter. Pretty good start. An exclamation point there with the PAT.
So 49-yard touchdown to Max Hough. And a picture-perfect start to the second half for the Mustangs, as they just executed perfectly.
Keep in mind, too, this is the first game for the new defensive coordinator, Trevor Strong, for Benedictine, and he's getting really, really aggressive there up front, bringing some heavy pressure, even bringing a couple of linebackers out from the second level. But right now, where that flaw is in the defense that we've been seeing is some of that downfield coverage, especially when the pressure really starts to get in the backfield and plan A breaks up for Morningside. We're seeing Chevalier use that level of athleticism and knowledge and experience that he has as being one of, if not the best quarterback in the NAIA, to cement himself back there in the backfield and go to plan B, C, and D if he needs to. And that's been why we've seen some of those big plays like the 41-yarder from Hough that went to the house. You know, having a guy like Chevalier in the backfield that can do that much and do it that well and that consistently certainly brings another level to your offense. And you're seeing that here early already in the third quarter. You've been seeing it all game.
Kick is away from Fitzsimmons. It'll be Lagofuina from the 5. We'll bring it to the near side. Bounces out down the sideline. Lagofuina across the 30. And they're going to mark him out at the 33-yard line. That is where the Ravens will start their first drive of the second half as Jackson, Dooley, and company come back on the field.
We've seen good starting field position on both of the opening opportunities in this third quarter. The Ravens with a little bit better. They'll start from the 30. This is answer time, though. How do you reestablish some of that momentum that you picked up at the end of the first half if you're Benedictine?
Quick out to Osburn. He breaks a tackle. Titan Osburn down the far sideline, and he is going to take it to the house. Titan Osburn, 70 yards. And just like that, the Ravens answer right back. And the redshirt freshman makes a big-time play as Dooley threw that 5 yards, and then Titan Osburn did the rest.
Well, that's how you reestablish your momentum from the the end of the second quarter. You dump it off to a freshman, and you just let him roll. Osburn with a burst of speed after slipping through that first initial contact with the defender, and nothing but green turf in front of him. And these two teams trading blows already here in the third quarter. And this is why this is the matchup of the week on the Urban Edge Network. I mean, look at what you got in front of you. Number 3 visiting number 4, both making big impact plays.
There you see it, just a quick out to Osburn, and he just outran everyone.
It's another thing that we, tipped at a little bit in pregame is head coach Joel Osborne loves to get some of these young freshmen in, get their feet wet, and just see, who's going to be a guy that I can rely on, maybe not necessarily in the starting lineup, but rely on as a second or third option coming off the sideline, and maybe he works his way up into the starting lineup at some point. We've seen that already today. Cameron Dover, not a young guy. He's coming out as a junior, but Osburn, he's making a case for himself as a speedster over there on the outside.
He turned that corner, and he was gone. Yeah. I think the way the Morningside defenders were taking an angle, it looked like they were not expecting that.
No,
this is my first time getting a look at him, and my goodness.
He caught everybody off guard, but that's, again, why you see so many coaches preface wrapping up on a tackle. He slipped that first initial contact for what would have been, just a 3 or 4 yard pickup, and next thing you know, it's crib talk.
Birch only able to get it out to the 15-yard line. Good coverage there from the Ravens special teams. So the question will be, who can get a stop first here in the second half?
Well, that's where you start. That's where you started to see the momentum flip back in the first half. Was from the interception by Dylan Witherspoon. That was really the first big stop for the Ravens, where they were kind of able to turn it around and retake the lead. Morningside made their case, though, too, when they forced the first punt of the game and made the Ravens pay. So, kind of been the trend today.
Handoff, Hudson, and he'll be across the 20 and wrapped up at the 22. He will pick up 7. Redshirt freshman out of Watertown, South Dakota.
That's a big pickup there on first down, especially for the young blood in the backfield. We'll see what the Mustangs and Chevalier have in store.
Hough will take it, and he's got some room across the 35, breaks a couple tackles up to the 40. And up to the 41-yard line goes Max Hough, his longest run of the day.
Both Hough and Ugorji, who have been the two leading rushers that we've seen for both sides today, really fun guys to watch. They're not brought down easy. They keep the legs chugging through contact, and that's why you see, even with Hough, his momentum taking him to the ground, he's able to pick up, 5 to 10 extra yards.
Tries to bounce that one outside and is met by Peyton Job. No gain on the play there for Hough as Job comes up from his safety spot to make the play.
Huge tackle there by Job. Stands up Hough, who outweighs him pretty well by about 35 pounds. Stands him up at the line. And that's a big stop on first down. That's where the Mustangs have kind of made their money, is with those big first down gains.
Chevalier will throw and knocked down by Abram Phillips as he got up and batted down the pass of Zach Chevalier, and that will force a 3rd and 10.
Something that I've noticed a little bit is the defenders for Benedictine have been reading Chevalier really, really well today. You saw that with the interception by Dylan Witherspoon. You see it there on the block too. Abram Phillips was kind of just sitting at home, not really moving too much, didn't apply pressure, didn't drop into coverage, stays home. And the second he sees Chevalier turn to throw, he made that break, able to bat it down, and that is a big, big deflection to set up a 3rd and long.
Chevalier with time, and he finds Sellon over the middle. Drew Sellon inside the 35 of Benedictine down to the 31. And when you give a guy like Chevalier time, I'm going to guess where that flag is at. That is going to be roughing the passer.
We'll wait and get the official call, but just when you think you have Chevalier kind of nailed down in what he's going to do, still able to make a pass.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 90, 15 yards, added in the run, automatic, first down.
So that is going to move the ball into the red zone for Morningside. But as I was saying, you give Chevalier that kind of time, he is automatic.
Yeah, and applying that hit after the throw, too, is going to be costly for the Ravens. Granted, it was already a big, costly play, giving Chevalier the time he needed to find Sellon way down the field. But now you've tacked on some extra hurt on the end of that. You're giving him a pretty good shot at a score. Morningside's offense rolling right now, just like they did in the first quarter, where they scored on back-to-back drives. Knocking on the door, being able to do that, but Benedictine's been good down in the red zone so far today in the second quarter, standing up the Mustangs more than once.
Sellon over the middle, keeps his feet. Touchdown, Morningside. Drew Sellon with his 2nd of the day. And the Mustangs are back in front. That quick strike offense of Morningside.
Ruling on the field, a touchdown. The runner had possession of the ball, crossing the goal line. Until the play, touchdown.
And that is going to move Chevalier over 300 yards for the day. And now Sellon 6 for 119 and 2 touchdowns.
We knew we were going to be saying that combo of names a lot this afternoon. Good job, too, by Sellon, even falling down. There's a block PAT.
And I think that was Lacombe who got to it. No, it was 34. That was Dylan Witherspoon who had the block.
And that's a big blocked.
There was a 3 on the front. I couldn't catch who it was.
It's a big blocked PAT, though, too, because now it only keeps the difference in score at 3. So Benedictine has an opportunity. Obviously, the goal would still be to put 6 or 7 on the board, but if you move it down the field,
it was Dylan Witherspoon who blocked the extra point. Another big play there made by Witherspoon, and that just keep that point in mind as we move forward.
Well, yeah, keeping it at 27-24 instead of 28-24. I mean, that in its own right is huge because now you give the Ravens an opportunity to tie even if they're not able to put a touchdown on the board. So, you know, every point, the 2 missed field goals from the first half, the turnover from the Mustangs in the first half, there's a lot of factors that are going to play into this game, and we're seeing exactly what we thought in terms of shootout right now from these 2 offenses. So anything can happen. Whole lot of game left to play, and here we are again, not even 5 minutes in, and both teams putting points up on the board to start the half. I mean, this is where it's time for somebody to come in and make a stand. And if you go back to the first half, that's what you would see on this drive. This is the first time that anybody had to punt to be on the 3rd try. So
I'm being
the Ravens have in store.
I'm being told it wasn't Witherspoon who got a hand on it. It was somebody in the middle of the line that did. As Lagafuaina breaks free, Joseph Lagafuaina to the far side of the field. Fitzsimmons giving chase. Lagafuaina will be chased out of bounds inside the Morningside 30-yard line. And a big special teams play from the Ravens as a big kick return from Joseph Lagafuaina. He had nothing in front of him, was able to switch sides of the field as we'll take a look at the replay. You can watch it on that screen. I'm going to watch it on the big one outside. As Lagafuaina just kind of basically stopped.
Yeah, Lagafuana did a great job of planting his foot in the ground to turn his momentum back to the far side of the field. And he is he's a dangerous threat at the receiver position, just as dangerous, too, when he can get his momentum rolling on a kickoff return.
Ugorji brought down in the backfield. I think that was Jack Kratz who came through from his safety spot, and the Ravens are going to lose a yard.
Yeah, we've got to see something big here from Dooley in the offense. Obviously, we've seen it already with the big 70-yarder just a little while ago.
Running backs to each side of Dooley. Inside 10 on the play clock. And some miscommunication there. And the Ravens are going to have to burn a timeout with 9:43 to go here in the first half. But, man, we have a good one. These teams put up 93 points last year between the two. Were we expecting anything less today?
I don't know if we were expecting, 90-some-odd points, but in terms of what you're being given on the field, no. I mean, I think both of us said multiple times this week the words shootout, offensive battle, and the phrase, whose defense is going to come up clutch down the stretch. And so far, defensively, I think overall that, Benedictine has been a little better. They shut out the Mustangs in the second quarter while putting up 10 points. But I think in big moments, too, the Mustangs have come up and really backed down some of the momentum to force field goals when there should have been touchdowns for Benedictine. So I think it goes both ways in their own rights of whose defense is setting up. But offensively, this is as was advertised leading up to this. Two high-tempo, solid offenses that are going to take advantage of the defensive holes that you have. They've been doing so far this afternoon.
Ugorji motions out of the backfield. Dooley for Witherspoon, just off of his fingertips, overthrew it as that was going to be a walk-in touchdown for Witherspoon. Morningside bit on the fake screen on the opposite side of the field to Ugorji.
That play was, perfectly drawn up by Coach Osburn. Take the time out. You hate to see that, and Witherspoon kind of kicking himself on the way back to the line. Went just off his fingertips.
Jackson in motion. 3rd and 11. Dooley drops the snap. And Morningside has it. A big turnover by the Ravens. As it was Cale Pittenger who came away with the football for Morningside.
I couldn't tell in that case. We'll see the replay. It almost looked like Ugorji might have cut a little bit in front of the line of sight, at least from the view I had from behind the play. Cut into the line of sight or caught Dooley off guard. His eyes came just off the football before it hit him in the hands, and you see him kind of bottle it up on the chest and lose it.
So 1st and 10 Morningside from their own 32. And a chance to push the lead to 2 possessions.
Good test here for the Ravens defense as well. See if they can stand up against a Morningside offense that's been rolling here in the second half.
Hough will pick up a yard on 1st down, and neither team has been ahead by more than 1 possession to this point. Been very back and forth. Advantage Morningside, though, here in the 3rd quarter, as they were able to score right out of the gate. And they answered the Ravens score right back, and then they forced a turnover. Little touch pass there to Lennox Brown. He is wrapped up by Lacombe at the 39-yard line.
And that's a good play design from the Mustangs. We haven't seen too much of that. A lot of the handoffs have been pretty traditional today from Morningside, just handing it off to Hough or Birch and trying to let him get a hole up the middle or bounce it to the outside. But Lennox Brown, somebody that has his speed, standing at 6'3", has a big stride too. He's able to get that corner, build up a little bit of his momentum. We're going to have flags flying down on the field.
Looks like it's going to be on Morningside.
False start, offense, number 72. 5 yards, remains, third down.
You get a false start on the right guard, Jack James. And instead of 3rd and 3, it's going to be 3rd and 8.
And again, that changes up your initial play call if you're offensive coordinator Chris Silva, but kind of like what we've seen in long situations late in the down count. I mean, Morningside has been really, really good. They're 4 of 8 on 3rd down so far. Haven't made it to a 4th down where they've gone for it. See if the Ravens can come up with a big stop here.
Chevalier to throw. Has time, complete, but no, Brown off his fingertips and hits the turf. So the Ravens, after the turnover, force a 3 and out.
And I think, is that Carter Salzman?
Oh, that was Joe. That was Job.
Peyton Job. 18 looked like a 19 from across the field. Good job, though, staying right on the hip of Lennox Brown in that coverage. Even if you're not able to get a hand, sometimes just the presence of knowing that a defender is there for a receiver can be enough for them to kind of bobble the ball. And Lennox Brown, a victim of that on the previous play.
As Lagafuina will let that roll to a stop at the 27-yard line, and the Ravens get the ball back. So one defense gets a stop, and so does the other. So now we are going to take the media timeout here in the 3rd quarter. Morningside leading Benedictine 27-24. You're watching the UEN Clash of the Week on BRSN. 7:46 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Dakota Smith and Colin Eccles with you this afternoon in the first Hart UEN Clash of the Week, as the Ravens trail the number 3 ranked Mustangs of Morningside 27-24. Ravens get the ball back after a fumble on their last drive. The Raven defense stands tall, forces the 3 and out, and gets their offense the ball back. And we'll see what Jackson Dooley and the Raven offense can do with it. Twins to each side for Dooley. And it will be Dalton Witherspoon up to the 30, gain of 3. He has been held in check today, just 7 carries for 38 yards, 27 of that coming on one play.
Yeah, Witherspoon didn't get his name called a whole lot, especially in the first quarter. That's kind of the thing we were talking about, is the diversity of the backfield of Benedictine, where you can run Witherspoon, and on a day where he's having an off game, you can double right back and use Ugorji to your advantage.
Lagafuina open on the near side across the 40, and that will be a first down for the Ravens. Second catch of the day for Joseph Lagafuina. Been a little quiet this afternoon, but the Ravens have really spread the ball around on the offensive side.
Yeah, looking at the receiving, there's been 6 total receivers that have gotten their name called today. That's just the second time for Lagafuina. But, I mean, everybody is a max of 3 catches on the low end, obviously one. So 2 with 1, 2 with 2, and 2 with 3. Clearly some favorite targets starting to emerge for the Ravens, but
Dooley to throw. Steps up. And he is going to be pulled down from behind by Cale Pittenger. Second sack of the game for Pittenger. That will slow the Ravens' momentum.
Dooley on that play, a great job feeling the pressure coming from his blind side. Able to try to run to the far side of the field. Looked like he needed just another half a second for Pittenger to be held off. Still, though, a good block thrown by Xavier Ugorji in the backfield on that second defender to try to give Dooley that little bit of extra time to make a play.
Dooley to throw. Nowhere to go. He'll come back to Lagafawine. It'll go through his hands and incomplete.
Kind of feels to me like Dooley has tried to force these last couple of passes somewhere where there's really nowhere to throw to. Now with Lagafawine to try to get it back to the original line of scrimmage, good idea, throws it to the sideline away from two defenders that were coming over. But, I mean, Dooley on that one, on that play specifically, I think had a little more time where he could have sat in the pocket, but give credit to the Morningside secondary. They've been locked down on the edges so far in this third quarter, not giving Dooley a whole lot of options.
Chase Suharski in motion. Dooley with time. Lagafawine can't hold on. As that was Victor Atupra making the play on defense for the Mustangs. So after one first down, the Ravens drive stalls, and the Mustangs will get the ball back.
Now it's time to really get gritty if you are the Benedictine defense. You've come up with one big stop, so you figured out some keys that are taking away from the game of Chevalier and his crew, but you've really got to bear down and start to come up with another stop and give Dooley and the offense another chance.
Punt away from Robertson. It's going to get a Benedictine bounce down the sideline. It'll go out inside the 30, and that is, it'll go right at the 30 is where the official on the far side marks it. So that is where Chevalier and the Morningside offense will start their drive with 5:25 remaining here in the third quarter. After a quick start to this quarter, things have kind of slowed down a little bit. 3 touchdowns in a very short amount of time.
You know, we talked about it, off air during the media timeout. It was cookie cutter the first half. Score, 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 and now everybody is seemingly kind of settled in defensively and got their bearings about him.
Jalen Birch on the carry. He'll be stood up at the 33-yard line. Bring up 2nd and 7 for the Mustangs.
Kind of with no surprise, the run defense has been really good for the Ravens, where they've faltered a bit, especially with the big scoring plays, has been in the passing game. Chevalier, obviously, quite the talented quarterback, which is why I say no real surprise, but
Hough will keep the legs moving up to the 35, and another third down for the Mustangs. They are 4 for 9 today. That is where they have a big advantage over the Ravens. Benedictine just 1 for 8 on third down this afternoon.
1 for 8, and the one time that the Ravens have got to fourth down, it's been 1 for 1. Morningside has not been put into a position where they've had to go for it on fourth down quite yet. This third down stop, this is another big one for the Ravens defense. Trying to put an end to a Chevalier run offense that has been super dynamic in the third quarter.
And he is going to be stood up short of the first down marker. He'll come up a yard short. And now we will see. 4th and a yard. Chevalier is still on the field. We have not seen punter Luke Paulson yet, and Morningside going to keep the pedal down. They're going to go for it here on 4th and 1 from their own 39.
4th and 1. As well as the offense has been moving, I don't think this is much of a surprise.
Wildcat, Lennox Brown, first down, Morningside.
Yeah, no shock there coming out of the gun. Maybe a little bit of shock with the Wildcat and running Lennox Brown and not handing the ball to Chevalier right out of the gate. But when you take that extra transfer out, it eliminates that extra opportunity for a mistake to be made on the exchange, the snap, whatever it might be. And Morningside's offense continuing to just fire on all cylinders here in the third.
Chevalier to throw all day. Intercepted! Isaiah Haston with the pick. And a great return inside the Morningside 25. And it's Isaiah Haston, the sophomore out of San Diego, California, making the play read perfectly. He came out of nowhere to make that pick.
Looking on the far side, I could see Haston just sitting and waiting for somebody. He didn't break and take the bite on the more interior receiver. Again, though, read the eyes perfectly of Chevalier. He saw that ball come up, and the second the ball came out of the hand, Haston made his break for it, elevated. And man, when you can climb the ladder and make a pick like that in a big moment, that is huge in terms of lighting a fire back underneath your team.
Witherspoon with a head of steam into the red zone up to the 18-yard line. And a nice pickup for the Ravens on first down, picking up 7. As you, Benedictine, you feel like you have to capitalize on this one. Witherspoon again turns the corner inside the 15. And he'll be down at the 11. So 2 carries and a first down for Dalton Witherspoon.
Well, I mean, you said it just about as good as anyone. You feel like you have to capitalize at this point in this big of a game and a situation. It's about capitalization from here on out. You know, obviously Morningside had an opportunity after the fumble made by Dooley to capitalize. Now you've got an opportunity again after a turnover defensively for Benedictine to turn around and capitalize. Every time that an offense in this game makes a mistake, the opposing offense has to turn around and turn it into something, because with as good as these two teams are, you might not get that chance again.
Pickup of 3 on the play for Ugorji. We have a player down on the far side for the Ravens. Looks like it's one of the offensive linemen. If I got to look there, I think that might be Jacoby Hinton, the left guard for the Ravens.
And that's a big guy to lose if he does have to come out of the game. Obviously, he'll have to miss a little bit after this. He's a first-team All-Heart South player last year, 6'2", 281, an anchor on that left side.
And Hinton is back to his feet. I was queuing up a commercial just in case we needed it. But Hinton back to his feet and looks like he's moving all right. Being tended to by the Director of Sports Medicine here at Benedictine College, Patrick Hodap.
You and I were talking about that, but we talk about a lot of things before the game. And, you know, working in broadcasting, our schedules are never set in stone, and they're kind of wild. They change all the time. But the athletic trainers, they might have the roughest schedule out there for an athletic department. I mean, here at the crack of dawn, here well late into the night, they're working hard all the time, and, you know, sometimes they don't get the credit they necessarily deserve.
Zimmerman in motion, Dooley rolling. It'll go off the hands of Zimmerman and out of bounds. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 6 for the Ravens.
And this is a big 3rd and 6 for the Ravens offense. Within the 10-yard line, so you're well within striking distance, although you could argue that anywhere on your offensive side of about the 40 of your defensive side is well within striking distance the way this game has been going. I mean, we saw a 70-yarder earlier. It's pretty much anywhere in striking distance right now, but you are well within arm's reach of being able to punch it across the goal line.
The Ravens on about like in between the 9 and the 8. They are going to need the 2. Dooley to throw. Has time. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Benedictine. Joseph Lagofuaina with his first touchdown catch of the year and the 3rd passing TD of the day for Jackson Dooley.
Doesn't get a whole lot better than that. That's going to take Dooley up to around the 230-yard mark on the day with his passing yards. Like you said, the 3rd touchdown of the day. Lagofuaina, 3 different receivers as well to take those into the end zone. And talk about threading the needle, too, on that throw. Man.
Under pressure. We're going to get another look at it here in just a moment. But Dooley, just spectacular.
And a great job by that offensive front, too, to give him just enough time.
And you saw Lagafuina flash right across your screen. And there was a Tupper was waving incomplete. It looked like he caught that pretty clean. So Lagafuina with the touchdown. And back and forth we go again. The lead changes hands.
This is good football. I mean, this is the type of football that you want to open the year with.
7th lead change of the game.
Good. I'm loving it. Let these two go at it down to the wire.
You and me both. This is awesome. You can't ask for a better game to start the year. Number 3 versus number 4.
Yeah, I mean, you're
beautiful weather today, too. We're trying to dodge some rain.
Some moving in here later in the afternoon, but not a super, hot, sticky day outside.
Oh, the weather has been beautiful. You got here in early August, and it was miserable.
Oh, it was unbearable. Felt like you were walking out through a sauna.
And Klobe hit the pylon. I don't know if I've ever seen that in any football game I've ever watched.
Oh, my goodness.
That hit the pylon.
And it was bouncing towards the sideline. I mean, all of 6 inches away from hopping out of bounds and pinning the Mustangs back at their 1, which would have been something unbelievable to happen here. But
and we're gonna get a look at it again. Great work, camera work down there, and you see it just hits the pylon on the fly.
Yeah, that's a very unique situation. Kind of hate to see that it goes down as a touchback instead of being pinned right there, but again, this is Benedictine's chance to come out and make a big stand here defensively.
Hough wrapped up by Williams at the 31, gain of 6 as we are inside a minute to go here in the third quarter.
This is playing out exactly how we thought. 4-point lead here for Benedictine, which is huge because that missed extra point by Morningside means that now the field goal doesn't tie. So you've got to make your drives count in terms of putting it into the end zone.
Chevalier all day steps up. Kraft underneath. He lost the ball. The ball is out. Recovery on the play. As that was Michael Hamilton. No, it was 76? 76.
Brody Cottrell
falls on it, but instead of being a first down, now it's going to be 3rd and 1. But that might be the final play of the third quarter. And we are going to go to the 4th. Benedictine 31, Morningside 27. You are watching the UEN Clash of the Week on the Benedictine Raven Sports Network. 3rd and a yard for Morningside to start the fourth quarter. Handoff, Hough bounces it outside and just past the outstretched arms of Lacombe. He'll have the first down as Job is there to clean it up. But some hard running there by Max Hough picks up the first down.
Yeah, you're seeing the Benedictine defense start to get back into that kind of settled in phase that they were in the first half. Not as many, big plays, big yards picked up at once by Morningside's offense. They're having to chip away a little bit more, which is going to be good. Kind of eliminating that resiliency factor as you get later on into the game. They're not going to be as fresh every single time they come onto the field. Being able to get off in just a play or two like they were in the beginning of the third.
Quick catch there for Brown on first down. 2nd and 3, Chevalier to throw. Comes back to the near side, nearly intercepted off the hands of Cole Johnson. And he might have been able to take that back.
That was a dangerous throw there for Chevalier. I'm not sure if it was a miscue or if he just missed a little bit high with the throw, but, I mean, for Cole Johnson to come through and at least get a hand on it was big, and I'm starting to see some water hit the front of our window.
Oh, that's lovely.
So you might be seeing, especially if that rain picks up, you might be seeing a change in game plan for both of these teams.
As Sellon able to pick up the first down on third down. Little screenplay there to Sellon, his 7th catch of the game.
Yeah, you really need to get a stop here if you are Benedictine. Thought about a substitution defensively for the Ravens, but called back.
Hough on first down across the 47 up to the 46. He'll pick up 3.
And there's that substitution, a couple of them being put in. Savion Payton and looked like Isaac Lopez also coming onto the field for Benedictine.
Kraft motions across the formation. Chevalier finds Nelson over the middle. He breaks a tackle. It is wrapped up inside the 30. Third catch for Nelson and a first down for Morningside.
And that's one of those big plays that the Mustangs have been doing a phenomenal job of making happen in spots where they're needed the most. And the run game hasn't been all that effective here in the second half. Don't get me wrong, it's still been pretty good, but they only have 117 total yards on the ground between 5 different carriers. So when you're able to revert back to that arm of Chevalier, it's been effective, and it's been working and keeping that offense moving down the field for the entire second half.
And they are just RPOing the Ravens to death right now. Every single play seems like it's an RPO for Chevalier.
And he hasn't gotten a read wrong yet either. That's the thing. I mean, there's been opportunity for him to hand it off, but that quick pullback and shot out to the sideline for a couple of yards that after some run after catch happens turns into 8 or 9.
Chevalier to throw, looking up top for Nelson. Just over his hands and incomplete. So Morningside going for the kill shot in the back of the end zone, and it falls incomplete.
Good coverage there in the secondary by Benedictine. And this 3rd down and 1 stand for the Benedictine defense. Again, Morningside has done a good job, 6 for 12 today on 3rd down tries.
Going to motion Brown into the backfield, and this looks like it's going to be Wildcat again. And he has enough for the first down across the. He lost the ball. The ball came out. Are they going to say? They're going to say he was down. They're going to talk.
The officials are going to talk, and it looks like
I thought he was down.
And it is going to stay a first down. We saw that situation earlier where Morningside decided to challenge on what was a potential fumble by, I believe it was Zimmerman. And now we've got whistles blowing on the field.
I think they're challenging this.
So we'll see exactly what the call is, and I do agree with you. Joel Osburn is
on the play is being challenged by Benedictine. Timeout.
So we will step away while they take a look at it. You're watching the UEN Clash of the Week on BRSN. Our officials have made a decision.
And they were under there for a minute, too, so.
After review, call on the field's been overturned. The runner was knocked down prior to the ball coming loose. Benedictine made an immediate recovery. Rule, they will get the football at the 13-yard line, position 4, first down. Benedictine has won the challenge and will be charged a timeout.
Oh,
now who knocked it out?
That looks like,
was that Lacombe who came across right there? It's whoever came across. No, it was either
that Lopez.
Or was that Lopez or
30? That looks like Lopez that came across initially and made that first contact. I couldn't see who came in from the other side that might have, fully knocked it out, but Lopez was the first on scene. And he was one that got subbed in right there at the end.
Osburn. That was the exact same play he scored the touchdown on, and Morningside was having none of it. Great flow to the ball there. As that was Jack Kratz making the stop for the Mustangs and a loss of a yard.
Second down and 11. Still plenty of time to move your way towards that front stick, but, man, a fourth quarter big stop like that.
You got to do something with it, though, now. At least get a couple first downs and take some time off the clock. Quick throw complete. That's LeBron Jackson, and he will have enough for the first down up to the 25-yard line. Gain of 13.
Yeah, that's the big play that you need. And now the Raven offense moving back into this hurry-up motion, which is where they were really successful in the first half, keeping Morningside on their heels.
Dooley steps up, fires, and Zimmerman. They're going to call it incomplete. So unable to bring it in was Tanner Zimmerman. He looked like he had it for a moment and had it knocked out.
That's another good call by the officials, too. I mean, Zimmerman getting up, having to get pretty far off the ground to make the initial grab. Had a couple defenders draped all over him by the time he was coming down with it. And a good job by the rest of the Ravens offense to be aware, though, and at least be moving towards the ball in the event that it was not called incomplete.
Dooley, screen pass, blown up in the backfield by Jack Brickhouse. There is a flag down at the 29-yard line, or the 19-yard line.
And the Morningside defense is throwing up their hands in question as to what this is going to be. The officials are going to get together and talk about it. And I don't know how well you could see it, but that pass from Dooley looked like it was batted at the line. And a good job, good concentration by Watson to keep his focus and at least pull it out of the air so it wouldn't have been headed the other way. There were plenty of Mustang jerseys surrounding the ball as it was dropping. So, yes, the initial play, you lose a couple of yards. Not sure exactly what's going to go on with the flag.
After further discussion, there is no foul on the play.
So they pick up the flag, and that will bring up third. And they're back to the 22, so 3rd and 13.
I'd like to at least know what they were looking at for the penalty. Obviously, it doesn't matter, but you still like to pick the brain of the official every once in a while.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Big third down play here for both the Morningside defense and Raven offense.
Jackson motions to the near side. Dooley with time, looking up top. Incomplete off the hands of Isaiah Haston. As he was open, the throw was a little behind him, but it hit him right in the hands, and that will go down as incomplete, and the Ravens will have to punt.
Now, the Ravens gave themselves a shot. Now, the good thing is they've knocked a couple of minutes off the clock. One more first down, and I think you'd be in a really, really good situation to kind of just start running the ball and really taking that time off. Still able to get a couple of minutes. In a game like this, every minute is going to count.
That throw just a little bit behind Haston. couldn't quite make the adjustment. And when you have a safety back there trying to do that, and Hough will pick up a couple on the return up to the 36.
It's going to be good starting field position again for the Mustangs, who started off this half, white hot in terms of moving the ball. And they've had a few big moments. I think if you don't have that fumble on the last drive, I think they put 6 on the board because they were moving like a freight train right down the field again. But if the Ravens defense can come back in, kind of get settled in, especially after you have that big stop, it's time to go to work. And they've been starting to anchor down and get back to the roots and fundamentals of what was making their defense successful in half number 1.
Morningside is out-yarding Benedictine by 132 yards at this point. Hough bounces it outside, and he'll get all the way and turn the corner, and that will be a first down for Max Hough. And he will be just shy of 100 yards on the ground this afternoon.
Yeah, Hough has been getting his name called a whole heck of a lot. That's his 16th carry. Still doesn't have a touchdown to show for it yet, at least in the rushing category. Receiving, he does have the 1. So he's been the prime target on the ground. He's 1 yard shy at 99. So
169 yards from scrimmage for Max Hough, and Birch with a lot of space down the sideline. Jalen Birch will be pushed out of bounds inside the 20. And a big play on the ground there for Jalen Birch.
Yeah, the Morningside offense not losing a single beat even after the turnover on that last drive, getting right back to it. Now the rush game has started to play a big factor in their success.
Hey, they didn't even have the chain set on the far side before Morningside was going.
This has turned into let's keep Benedictine on their heels as much as humanly possible. And now you're going to see that leading rusher. You're going to see Hough come back into the game. He'll be in the backfield with Chevalier. So I don't know. They made a pass yet on this? On this drive? I think it's been all handoffs so far.
It's been all runs so far.
Yeah, so they found their rhythm there. A part of their offense that really wasn't working all that well through the first 3 quarters.
Brown able to hang on, and he'll have the first down. Be first and goal, Morningside from the 7.
This is where you got to dig down and kind of find that extra level of gumption in your defense if you are the Ravens. Goal line stand. You're getting down to about halfway through the 4th quarter, 7.5 minutes to play. It'll be under that by the time these substitutions are made and the play happens. But, this late in the game, the offense for the Ravens hasn't been flowing as well throughout this 4th quarter. This is a big stop here. At least hold them to 3.
Handoff, Hough. He will pick up about a yard.
And that's exactly what you need, a good stop. White jersey.
Officials timeout.
White jersey down on the ground. Looks like some possible cramping happening for one of the Morningside O-linemen.
It is humid this afternoon. I will give it that. It is humid this afternoon. So we'll take a quick timeout. You're watching the UEN Clash of the Week on the Benedictine Raven Sports Network. So after the injury timeout, second and goal Morningside. Hough picked up a yard on first down. Trips to the right side for Chevalier with an empty backfield. Chevalier going to keep it himself. Touchdown Morningside. Zack Chevalier rushes one in, and Morningside has the lead back.
Don't get it twisted. He can throw the ball around, but Zack Chevalier can take off when needed. Did just as much damage on the ground last year, obviously with a whole lot less yardage, but did a whole lot of damage last season along with his game through the air. And Getting into the end zone there for him is a big deal. Put the Mustangs up by 2 with a defense that's been backing him really, really well on the opposite side.
Extra point is good from Fitzsimmons. 6 plays, 64 yards in 2 minutes and 56 seconds for the Mustangs. And now we're going to take the media timeout here in the fourth quarter. You were watching the UEN Clash of the Week on the Benedictine Raven Sports Network. Fitzsimmons to kick it off for Morningside with 6:39 to go. Do the Ravens have one more answer?
Yeah, you've had the media timeout to kind of take a break and everybody catch their breath, get their bearings back about them. I'm sure there was a very passionate speech from head coach Joel Osburn down on the Benedictine sideline. I'm sure it was just as passionate on the other side of the field with head coach Steve Ryan for Morningside.
Lagofuina from the 2. And he'll be met at the 19-yard line and pushed out of bounds.
There's a lot of field left to go for the Ravens. However, in big situations, they've been pretty solid all day long. Now you just need to see that offense that came out in the second quarter come back to life. I mean, their offense was about as solid could be. They've had a couple of big plays that have pushed them into the end zone here in the second half.
So some Wildcat here. Xavier Ugorji going to take the snap. He is tripped up at the 19-yard line. He'll pick up a couple.
Yeah, that's going to be the other thing that comes into play here, too, is you don't want to score too quickly and leave the Mustangs with a ton of time to possibly respond if you're Benedictine. So moving down the field, but chewing some time as well would be the most ideal combo here late in the game.
Dooley to throw under pressure, out of the reach of Titan Osburn.
That pressure came in from, looks like that's big number 99, Cale Pittenger. Off the far edge for Morningside, and that's another big third down setup for the Ravens. And you're kind of at a spot now where I think if you get anywhere near that first down marker, you might be seeing the offense stay out on the field.
Ravens 2 for 10 on third down. Dooley to throw. Under pressure, hit as he throws. And that was Pittenger again, getting the pressure on Dooley. Ravens are going to punt with 5:51 to go. They have 2 timeouts. And this is where that timeout they had to burn back in early in the third quarter might come into play.
Yeah, we'll see what they have drawn up. Hough is back to return for Morningside.
Standing at his own 38-yard line. Robertson gets it away cleanly. High spiraling kick. Hough will take it from the 38. And they're going to get a block in the back on Morningside. Good return there from Hough up to near midfield, but we're going to get the penalty on the Mustangs. The flag sitting at the 40-yard line.
And that's going to be a huge penalty again. Now, the last time this happened, the Mustangs got pinned all the way back at their own 3-yard line. They were able to march it down the field and score. But
during the return, illegal block in the back. Return team, number 17, 10 yards spot of the foul. First down, Morningside.
This late in the game, you know, not everybody's near as fresh as they were back in that first quarter. It's going to take a lot more for the Mustangs to have to work. Granted, it's only 70 yards that they have to go, and I say only because these two teams have been making 70 yards look like next to nothing today.
The thing that Morningside has done so well here in the second half, they've kept Chevalier upright.
Yes.
They have not allowed a sack here in the second half. They gave up 4 in the first half. But this Mustang offensive line has been fantastic here in the second half.
Well, and they're making longer drives, too. They're wearing down the Benedictine defense, who was stopping the run really, really well through the first 3 quarters, and they're kind of at the end of the third. Saw them break down a little bit with the run coverage, and now the run game has been huge in the fourth for Morningside. So they've been playing the game right. Now it's just a matter of, can Benedictine find that overdrive gear, really ramp things up, come up with a clutch stop, and then turn it into something on the other end of the ball.
2nd and 6 for Morningside from their own 34. Birch to the left to Chevalier. He will get the ball. And he will be up near the first down, just a bit short. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Haven't seen Chevalier throw the ball too much at all in this fourth quarter. I think the Mustangs have kind of gone into that mode of, let's keep this clock rolling and just run it, keep it in the middle of the field. Don't go out of bounds. You're down to 4.5 minutes to play. And there it is, the Wildcats set again for Morningside.
Brown stood up and he didn't get it. He did not get it. 4th and 1 upcoming for Morningside. A big stop by the Benedictine defense.
Now, Morningside is 1 for 1 on 4th down tries, but they're going to send out the punt unit. Situationally, 100% the right call to bring out your punt team, even though you have been able to pick up those 1-yard gains pretty consistently. You see it right there. The Ravens still have the ability to come out and stand up one of your guys who's been phenomenal running out of a Wildcat today, who's been really good all day.
So the Ravens are going to have an opportunity. Punt from Paulson is away, end over end. Lagafuina will make the catch at the 21. So the Ravens only need 3 to tie, but they will need to go 79 yards if they want to win this one. They have 2 timeouts and 3.5 minutes to go. This Morningside defense gotten a lot of pressure on Dooley here in the fourth quarter and have really done everything that's been asked of them.
Yeah, it's been Cale Pittenger who's really been causing Dooley some issues, and you're going to see Dooley running with 2 backs in the backfield with him, maybe as an extra blocker just to give him some more time.
Dooley near side, Lagafuina couldn't make the catch. We were blocked out a little bit. That will fall incomplete. As Lagafuina unable to keep his feet down and bring it in.
Dangerous throw there, too. Victor Atupra right on the heels of Lagafuina. But that, again, goes back to, even though it's an incomplete, the choice by Dooley to throw it in that zone where he did towards the sideline, that comes into play big time because the momentum of Atupra bringing him across the field, even if he does get a hand on it, probably not staying in bounds to secure the interception.
Handoff, Ugorji unable to make a man miss. He will fall forward for 3 yards, and that is going to bring up 3rd and 7. It's 4-down territory at this point in the game, right?
I mean, it's do or die time, kind of. Even if you are, at a 4th and 7, I think you expect the pass here if you're Morningside's defense. But pretty much from here on out, if you don't pick up a first down, you've got to go for it.
3rd and 7. Dooley to throw. Under pressure, finds Dover. He's going to be tackled short of the first down marker. Up to the 29. It's going to be 4th and 3. The Ravens will have to snap the ball before the 2-minute timeout, and they are going to the line quickly.
4th and 3, such a tough scenario for offenses.
Dooley gets it quick. Incomplete. And they get the flag. Atupra was a little early. And that is going to be, this is a big call.
Oh, my goodness.
I did think he was there early.
I agree. The hit did look like it came in not too early.
Pass interference, defense, number 6. That penalty for spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
It didn't look like the penalty came in super, super early, but just enough to make a difference. What a rocket of a throw, though, and that's where you're going to see kind of some of that inexperience come back to bite Tupra a little bit. Gets too antsy, sees the ball coming towards him, thinks, oh my gosh, I have the chance to make the play of the game.
Handoff, Ugorji keeps his feet moving, getting a push from that offensive line across the 40. He'll pick up 5, and we'll see if the Ravens will try to get another play off before the 2-minute timeout.
They're moving back quick.
They're making some substitutions, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get organized before the 2-minute timeout. Saharsky gets in position, and they got the snap off just in time. Witherspoon up near the 45. We'll see where they mark it. We're going to get the 2-minute timeout right here with 1 minute and 56 to go. They are going to move the chains. It'll be first down, Benedictine, when we come out of the 2-minute timeout. We've got a good one here in Atchison, 34-31. Ravens on the move. 1:56 to go. You're watching the UEN Clash of the Week on BRSN. 1:56 to go. First and 10 Ravens from their own 45. Christian Klob made from 43 in the second quarter, also missed from 33 in the second quarter. But on that field goal he made in the one he made, that was 43 and had plenty left on it. So
yeah, it did. And realistically, the one that he missed had all the distance it needed. I think he just either maybe brushed the ground with that kicking foot a little bit or pulled his leg across a little too hard. Just didn't get the best kick on it. If he kicks it where he's supposed to, all day. Yeah, all day. But, I mean, to send it to overtime, that would be big.
Twins to each side for Dooley here on 1st and 10 from the Raven 45. Dooley, play action. Pittenger putting on the pressure. And that, they're going to get intentional grounding here on Dooley. There was nobody there.
There's certainly going to be a conversation about it.
There is no foul for intentional grounding. Quarterback got outside the tackle box. Ball across the line of scrimmage. Second down.
And a very firm reaffirmation by the officials that is not a...
I think it's got to be 2 of the 3. You have to get 2 of the 3 for it not to be.
Yeah. And he did. I mean,
there was nobody there.
No, great decision-making, though, by Dooley. Just to kind of throw it into open space and realize where he's at on the field to avoid the penalty.
Dooley caught by Jackson, and he'll go out of bounds into Morningside territory at the 47. It will be 3rd and 2. Ravens do have 2 timeouts, but Jackson gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, that's a very smart decision by LeBron Jackson.
Because now you can run it here if you want to if you're Benedictine. And they'll give to... No, Dooley keeps it himself and gets the first down. The read option, and Jackson Dooley converts a big 3rd down for the Ravens, and they keep it moving.
This is where you love to have Jackson Dooley running your offense out of the backfield. He's so smart with his decision-making.
Dooley... Jackson is open, makes the catch inside the 25. LeBron Jackson.
And that is another just big play. Great job by Jackson to create enough space for Dooley to be able to fire that through a window. Completely surrounded by defenders, but none of them close enough to make a play on it.
Ravens taking their time here a little bit. They do have 2 timeouts left, and you can kind of...
You got to understand, though, why, too, because even if you leave 60 seconds on the clock for Morningside, that's enough for them to get a few plays off.
They have all 3 of their timeouts looking for Jackson. He makes the catch. Pushed out of bounds by Landry Phipps. 9-yard gain for LeBron Jackson, and the senior coming up big late in the game, as he's been the favorite target of Jackson Dooley here on this drive. That is the third straight catch for LeBron Jackson, and he is going to get a well-earned breather trying to pump up the crowd. 2nd and a yard from the 15.
Yeah, Jackson knows what it takes to win in big moments like this. He has a great understanding of the game, and there's a big handle.
Ugorji inside the 5, down to the 4. Xavier Ugorji.
Big. Xavier Ugorji was the spark in the first quarter. 2 big carries, one of them found himself in the end zone at the end of it. That wasn't a touchdown, but just as big of a run to punch your way down to the 5, 1st down and goal. And now you forced a timeout on the field. You're taking it yourself, but man, 42 seconds left. You got 5 yards to go. This is the spot that you want to be in if you are Benedictine.
Okay, I'm going to reset the scene here. This was the exact same scenario in this game last year with Benedictine stuffing Morningside in this situation. Now, Benedictine scored with do you still have that box score up by chance?
I don't, but I can get to it very quickly.
Okay, because I can't remember when Benedictine scored. They scored late, and then Morningside flew down the field.
I mean, really what this all boils down to while we kind of get this pulled up is the fact that Morningside, even if they are able to punch the ball across the goal line at this late in the game, Morningside by far has the capabilities to be able to turn this thing around with under a minute to go and work their way back down the field to match, if not surpass, the points that you put on the board. So everybody still has to be 100% locked in, pedal to the metal, ready to go, especially if you get back out there on defense, because the Mustangs, as they've shown, can make you pay.
Yeah, Morningside got the ball back with 55 seconds left. So, plenty of time here for the Ravens. Dooley with Ugorji to his right.
They've lowered it from 47-8 to 47 as well.
Ugorji takes the handoff, powers forward. He'll get to the 2. You have time, and they still have the timeout. But you got to move a little quicker, though. Trying to make substitutions. Osburn and Lagafuina moving out to the right inside 25 seconds. Ugorji motions out. Dooley keeps it himself. Touchdown, Benedictine! Jackson Dooley from 2 yards out, and the Ravens take the lead.
What a scheme call, too, by Coach Osborne. Sends out both backs, presents 2 running threats. Ugorji and Witherspoon have both been great all day. You motion Ugorji out just like you have been for that potential screen option. And then what happens? You use Witherspoon as your lead blocker, create that extra little gap off the edge. And who's able to punch it in? The man himself, Jackson Dooley, who has just been phenomenal today in points where he's had to.
Klob, extra point. It's a big one. It's up and good. 12.6 on the clock. And Benedictine takes the lead. And now we're going to get a look at that Jackson Dooley touchdown.
You saw the tail end of it there where he's able to punch it across. Obviously, that's the big moment that matters. And you only leave Morningside with 12-6 on the clock. So now you got to think, too. We'll watch this replay one more time from a different angle. There's the celebration. Dooley kicking the door down, has that pad showing. Shows you how hard he's been working today. 20 of 37 through the air, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns. And then he doubles back on the rushing side, 8 carries, lost 5 yards in the process. Thank you, Sacks, for counting his lost yardage in rushing. But he adds another touchdown. So he's got 4 touchdowns to his name today. 4. I don't know about you, but that is a pretty stellar, what is officially week 0 performance for the senior quarterback. Had a phenomenal year last year. Hart South Offensive Player of the Year, Hart South First Team, Third Team AFCA All-American. And here's a short kick from Benedictine.
They'll be taken at the 20. So 12.6 and 3 timeouts.
The three timeouts, normally you'd look at 12.6 seconds and go, all right, no big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's a lot of field left to work with. 75 yards has been nothing today. And you have the reigning best quarterback in the NAIA, Zack Chevalier, and 2 of his favorite targets, Drew Sellon and Lennox Brown, on the field.
Brown's a big guy. He can go up and get it.
Yeah, this game is far from over with less than 13 seconds to play.
Chevalier to throw. Knocked down, as that was Xavier Woods knocking it down for Benedictine with 5.1 to go.
And his target on that play was, I believe, Lennox Brown. So there was your kind of one-on-one matchup. Now Benedictine dropping 3 deep.
Isaiah Haston is standing at his own 25-yard line like he's about to return a punt.
Yeah, I mean, 5 seconds left. You're looking at one shot here for Morningside.
Hook and ladder and a lot of laterals we might be seeing here in just a moment. Chevalier.
And it looks like they are going to go with the short game.
And that's going to fall incomplete. And Benedictine opens the year with a 38-34 win over Morningside. Jackson Dooley with the touchdown with 12 seconds left. A perfectly executed 3-minute, 15-second drive by the Ravens. Managed perfectly, and they score with just 12 seconds left. And Benedictine picks up the win over number 3 Morningside by a final of 38-34.
Man, 3 years in a row, this game has just been shootout, shootout, shootout.